Hey guys, Jay back in front of you in this video. I don't know what we're going to be doing. Most likely watching some YouTube. Any games that we can play. Yep. So YouTube it is. Watching. How many views? Wait, oh yeah,
These are my custom made drumsticks, black or red.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 ways to know someone is lying. We can't read minds, so it's hard to know when someone's telling the truth and when they aren't. But there are a few telltale signs that someone is lying. Whether you want to see if your partner is cheating or just to know when people are lying in day-to-day situations, this list is sure to help you out. So be sure to like the video and subscribe, and comment I subscribed and I'll try to reply. So, coming in at number 10, we have not blinking. While most people assume if someone is lying, they won't be able to maintain eye contact, hence the popular phrase, look into my eyes and tell me the truth. But this was made up by Hollywood, and studies show that when people are lying, they're far less likely to blink, and in fact much more likely to keep eye contact with a blank expression. Liars subconsciously do this to manipulate you because you expect them to look away or blink. Famous conmen such as Bernie Madoff, who stole $65 billion from investors, would keep eye contact for longer than usual without blinking when talking to clients he was stealing from. So if you notice someone not blinking and looking at you for longer than usual, then be careful, especially if they're your stockbroker. Next up, we have covering their mouth. We cover our mouths when we're shocked or embarrassed. But what a lot of people don't know is that we cover our mouths when we're lying. Mouth covering is actually a very literal piece of body language, and it indicates that the person doesn't want to answer a certain question or talk about a certain subject. People also tend to find it hard to speak and move their mouth when they're lying, so subconsciously, people cover up their mouth to cover up their awkward mouth movements. So when you see someone covering their mouth when they're talking to you, they're literally closing off communication. And unless they're wiping sauce off their face or something, the chances are they're lying to you. Next up is head position. One very obvious sign that someone is lying is actually one of the least well known. There are in fact 3 different head positions that mean the person you're talking to is lying, and liars often do all of these at the same time or change between the 3. The first is tilting their head to the side, which shows their discomfort in the conversation. The second is bowing their head down, which is done to cover their neck, as subconsciously humans feel vulnerable and exposed when their neck is showing. And lastly is the most obvious one, which is having a retracted head. This means they're not engaged in the conversation as they don't want to answer a question or discuss a topic. And this one is super easy to look out for, as the head is one of the most prominent body parts. Next up is too much information. While you might think that if someone was lying, they wouldn't be able to go into much detail because, well, the events never actually happened. But much like the blinking one, this is a myth. If someone is telling you a story or answering a question in great detail that you didn't ask for and isn't important, then they're probably lying. The reason liars do this is to make the story sound more vivid and realistic. One key example of this is when stand-up comedians are telling their written stories, and they often go into great unnecessary detail to make the story more believable. A lot of people get tricked by this, as it's one of the most effective cover-up methods that liars use. So next time somebody's telling you an unbelievable story, make a mental note of how much detail they're going into. Coming up next, we have stillness. We all know that if someone's nervous or uncomfortable, they squirm around and fidget. But this isn't necessarily the same for someone who's lying. In fact, when someone is lying, they're more likely to not be moving at all and be unusually still. This body positioning and lack of movement is part of subconsciously preparing for confrontation, as the liar is worried that their lie may be questioned or uncovered. It's much more natural to move your body when you're talking, as it suggests confidence. Hey guys, guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 crazy things you've never noticed until now. So I've made a part 1 to this video, but there were a few more crazy things that I have to show you guys. So get ready to get your mind blown. And be sure to like the video and subscribe and comment I subscribed, and I'll try to reply to all of you. So, coming in at number 10, we have Dexter's Lab and The Big Bang Theory. If you grew up in the 90s, you're likely a fan of the cartoon series Dexter's Story. I'm sure many of you today watch the internationally popular TV show The Big Bang Theory. Both of these shows revolve around science and nerds, but one Redditor a few years ago pointed out that there's more than just a few similarities between the two shows. These two posters are for the two separate shows, but as you can see, there are an insane amount of similarities between the two shows as shown by the posters. The poses, characters, and even backgrounds to the posters are all identical. These similarities are obviously uncanny, and because Dexter's Laboratory was created in 1996, and The Big Bang Theory was created in 2007, many thought that The Big Bang Theory copied Dexter's Lab, while others argue they simply took inspiration from the characters, as the actual shows are quite different. But so far, neither of the show's creators have come out with a statement regarding the similarities. Next up is Tic Tacs. Whether you're refreshing your breath after food or drink, or just like candy, we're used to buying Tic Tacs and either pouring them into our hands, or just eating them straight out of the container. But have you ever noticed that small Tic Tac shaped crevice in the flippable lid of Tic Tac containers? Well, the whole reason for this lid is so that you can easily get one Tic Tac out at a time. Simply turn the container upside down and then open the lid until one falls into the crevice. What's funny is that Tic Tac spent a lot of money researching and developing this design, yet nobody knows about it. Well, except you and me. Next up on the list is Toblerone. If you've ever been to an airport, you'll likely know the pyramid-shaped chocolate Toblerone. And I'm sure you're familiar with the mountain that Toblerone uses as its logo. But have you ever looked at the Toblerone logo in great detail? No? Well, why would you? But if you ever do, then you'll notice a secret image of a bear hidden inside the mountain. The reason for this is because bears are the animal of the city of Bern in Switzerland, which is where Toblerone is from. And surrounding Bern, there's a lot of mountains. So, put the two together and you have a secret bear hidden inside the mountain. I don't know about you, but Toblerone logo the same again. Next up is ducks or dogs. We're all used to seeing ducks. They're at every park, pond, and lake. But after I tell you this, you'll never look at a duck the same again. A popular internet image shows that a duck's beak looks incredibly similar to the face of a dog, with some even equating the beaks to the dopamine. The two holes in their beaks that ducks use for air make up the eyes, the shape of the beak makes up the ears, and the black mark at the front, which helps with holding water and breathing, makes up the nose. And if that's not disturbing enough, this is what a duck would look like without its beak. Next up is Honey Nut Cheerios. So this one is really simple, and it's an example of excellent marketing. If you've ever bought a box of Honey Nut Cheerios, you've probably noticed the front image has 2 bowls of Honey Nut Cheerios. And while this design looks kind of messy on its own, it's actually something that marketers call smart displaying, which is where a store display makes up an image or a shape. Because when all of the boxes are lined up, the side of the bowl forms one whole bowl using the box next to it. And while this may look like a minuscule detail, companies pay stores a lot of money to place their boxes like this because it really does boost sales. And while you might be thinking that it doesn't work as it's on a list of things you've never noticed, well, it does work subconsciously and makes your brain think of the cereal as clean and attractive. Next up we have Not a Skirt. This is another one for 90s kids. I'm sure a lot of you remember the Nickelodeon cartoon Hey Arnold, and its main character Arnold would always be dressed in jeans, black shoes, a turquoise sweater, and what looked like a skirt. But sorry to ruin your guys' childhood, but that skirt that Arnold wore wasn't a skirt at all. It's actually just an oversized, untucked shirt. If you haven't seen the cartoon before, this might look obvious. But as kids, we don't notice small details and just make assumptions based on what we see. And when an article was posted in 2012 pointing this out, the internet went wild. But there are some people still finding it out today and having their childhoods ruined. Sorry. Next up is The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Okay, this list is a little heavy on 90s stuff, but come on, who doesn't love The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? So this is a crazy observation that will make you guys feel really old, but Will Smith could actually now play Uncle Phil from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, because Will Smith is now older than Uncle Phil was at the start of filming The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Will Smith is now 48 years old and was only 16 when he took on the role of the Fresh Prince. James Avery, who plays Uncle Phil, tragically died a few years ago and was 68 at the time of his death, but when he began filming The Fresh Prince, he was 46. Meaning that Will Smith would now be old enough to play his character. I don't know about you, but I feel about 100 years older. Next up we have MLB Birds. This one is very similar to the whole duck dog face one from before. The MLB is the second most popular sport in the USA after the NFL. And at first, the logo seems simple, just a man hitting a ball with a bat. But if I were to do this to the image, the chances are you'll never look at the logo the same again. After this image went viral a few years back, it was revealed how much the man in the logo could resemble a bird because of his helmet, as the helmet forms a shape around the man's face. The man has been made into almost every bird from chickens to penguins. And if I take any bird imagery away, I bet you guys can still picture the man as a bird now. So next time you're watching Major League Baseball with someone, point this out and blow their mind. But coming up next, we have Pineapple Field. If you saw a pineapple in the supermarket, you wouldn't think twice. But where do pineapples actually come from? Well, even though you've probably never thought about it, pineapples actually grow in fields. In a 2008 survey, 60% of people said they didn't know where pineapples come from, while another 20% of people believe they grow in trees. So try asking your friends where they think pineapples come from, and I bet that you'll be the only one who knows. And you'll be able to shock them with your pointless but interesting fact. And finally, we have the Trump and Nazi logo. We all know Donald Trump is the current president of the United States. But before that, he was a business tycoon and the CEO of the Trump Organization, which owns a variety of resorts, hotels, and other assets. But when a tweet was posted in 2016, highlighting the similarities between the Nazi swastika and the Trump hotel logos, people started to freak out. The image comparison was shared all over the internet, and many accused Trump of designing the logo to look like this on purpose, especially those who didn't agree with his political campaign. Trump hasn't made a statement about the image, but some people say it's fake. However, that hasn't stopped it from going viral, and as expected, stirring up a lot of controversy, not only because of the